Hi everyone! I thought I would share a really quick card that looks harder than it is, and so it's really a fun one. And it was brought to my attention by I've seen actually quite a few cards like this online, but I never made one. And then demonstrator friend, we kind of get together sometimes and share ideas and give each other. We kind of have like a demonstrator stamp camp, and sometimes we do that at Panera. It was really fun. But anyway, Kathy brought this one, and it's such a fun little. It looks like a puzzle. It looks hard to do, but it is super simple. It's kind of funny that I've always seen it and just thought, that's too much for me to deal with. But I like it now that I've done it. So thank you, Kathy. Anyway, I'm using Countryside Inn Designer Series paper. This is about to retire. I don't know if you know this, but Stampin' Up's new catalog is coming out pretty soon. Demonstrators are going to get to see it next week, and then we're going to get to order from it in April, and then it goes live for customers in May. So it's only a few months away. So sometimes the paper usually retires at the end of every major catalog. So I don't know if this one will be around next time or not. It's a really fun paper pack in these blues and white, and it's got that new boho blue in it and navy, and it's really pretty. There's also some balmy blue in it. Anyway, so it's a real simple card, and hopefully this video will be fast. Here's Kathy's card that she brought to us at Panera last week. And so I am going to do a similar thing. I have that paper pack, so I'm going to use a different paper from the same collection. And you cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then I just have this for the inside. If you're using a white card base, you don't need an inside, but I like to sometimes use a dark, I don't know, it's kind of, I change it up. So I'm gonna do Night of Navy as my card base, which is very dark, so unless you use a white gel pen to write on it, then you need to have a white insert. And I think I'm gonna use this little strip here. When I cut these out, I'm cutting for Card Buffet, so if you're one of my Card Buffet people, you'll see this card at Card Buffet. It's a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. So then when you cut 4 by 5 1/4, you can get 6 sheets, 6 card fronts with that. And then you end up with this little strip. Actually, it was twice this size wide. And I cut them down, and I used every little bit. So I'm going to save this, and this is going to go on the inside. And you can put it like this to kind of show the outside paper, bringing it inside, or you can flip it and do a little navy inside. And I can't decide what I'm going to do. We'll see. All right, so here is your base. Now, you don't want to, sometimes I say, go ahead and glue that Designer Series paper down right away. This time you don't want to do that because you are going to need to trim. So I am going to start with this little square here, and you can just cut a square with your trimming blade, or you can use a die or a punch. I'm going to use a die because I like to, I don't know, I like to make things a little more complicated than they need to be, I guess. But I'm going to use a die. And so I'm using, where did it go? Did I put it away? I did. It says hello there, and I thought that was a nice little stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on my, oops, I had recently inked this up, so it's a little juicy. I'm going to stamp it on my basic white here, but I'm going to do it on an angle. And I could cut out my square first, but I'm not going to do that because I want to be able to, this is one of those red rubber stamps, which means it's not clear. You know how Stampin' Up has some clear stamps and some red rubber stamps? This is a red rubber one. They're nice. I like the red rubber ones. However, you can't see through them, so then you don't know if you can line it up perfectly. So I just realized I have one painted fingernail. My daughter was testing out nail polish, and she's like, can I put this one on your finger? And I completely forgot, so pretend you didn't see that. Okay, so here is my hello, and now I've got it, and I know I can line up my die perfectly, and I'm going to cut that out, and I'm not going to bother bringing my whole machine here. You know, I realized when I had this over here that I was showing it to you as if I was going to cut it out like that, but I'm not. I'm going to cut it out like this because I want that to be on an angle on my card. So think about that when you're stamping to make sure you have enough room on your paper. I do. All right, so I've got my hello, and then I did a little border one with the next size up, I should say what these are. This is the Stylish Shapes, and you get several different sizes. So that was the second smallest, or second from the smallest, and then I'm going one more size up for this. And then for the next size up, I did boho blue. And you're just going to layer these very simply. Okay, and then you can decide where you want to put it. You can put it in the left, right, up, down, center, whatever you want to do. I like to put it, I think it looks nice how Kathy did it, kind of in the lower corner. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down right there. Okay. All right, now the next thing you do is you need some scraps. Now I didn't have any navy scraps, so I cut them. And these are just 1/4 of an inch, just really skinny little, you kind of want to make it the same size as your border here. It just looks nice that way. So you can now add these. So how you're going to do that is you're going to start at a corner, doesn't matter which one you start at. And I'm just going to add a little bead of glue. And you're going to glue that down right up next to your sentiment. All right, and then you're going to snip it. So you can just kind of turn it over and snip that. There you go. Oops. Okay, and then, so you're going to start at a corner and then go off the page, as it were. So then I'm going to do the next one, and like I said, it doesn't matter, you can do this one or that one. I'm going to go do this one, and I'm going to start at this edge and go off the page. And take my strip here and snip. Okay, so now I'm going to start at this corner and go off the page. Now it probably would have been easier had I put glue on the strip and not the designer series paper, because now I got it off. But I'm going to just wipe that. Luckily this glue dries clear. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we just have one more edge to complete. Let me pull this just slightly. Okay. And there, so we've got our pattern. Now you can keep going with this pattern. You can add, I've seen people add more and more strips, and not necessarily showing the designer series paper, but I think that designer series paper looks really nice, especially this particular pattern that Kathy chose, this paper, this blue and white, and it kind of has like a quilted look, like maybe you're making a quilt. So it has this feel that you've done this whole patchwork thing with all these intricate measurements of paper, but really you didn't do any, right? So let's put that on, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do on the inside. Okay, on the inside, since I'm using my hello there is actually from Nature's Prints, which I think is really pretty in blue and white. It used to, a couple catalogs ago, have a paper that matched it that was in blue and white, so maybe that's why my brain instantly went to it. And it's not quite the same flower, but I think it's a good enough fit. So I'm going to use this flower. And add that, and like I said, my ink pad is just been re-inked, so it's a little juicy. Which way do I want to go with this? I think maybe let's do my next step first, and then we'll decide. So my next step I wanted to do is use my blending marker, which I don't even know if I need to add any ink to because this stamp was so juicy, but I think I need a little bit. I'm just going to pull some ink off of that and blend it out. I'm using blender pens, and that's just this kind of clear, I don't know what it is, medium, and they're just going to use it to pick up ink and blend it out. Now I kind of wanted a softer look, but that was stamped up so much. Actually, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to flip it over. Well, see, you kind of can see through it. I'm going to use this white on something else. Let's do this again. So if you ever have an ink pad that's really, really juicy, you can use sponges to ink up your stamp until the ink kind of settles into the pad more. Or you can go with a brayer. I'm gonna, my brayer is sitting right here. So let me try it. Let's experiment together. My brayer is sitting right here, so I'm going to pick up some ink. And my theory here is that because I'm not pressing the ink into the stamp, because this is foam, so when I pressed, that foam kind of was able to get in the nooks and crannies. This is also going to help disperse that ink in through the pad. But see, now I'm going to just kind of go like this across the top, and I'm wondering if maybe that will keep it from going in the nooks and crannies. Let's see. Not sure. Let's do it again. So now let me use my blender pen and see if I get a better, softer result. So by using the brayer, I got those little lines that are in the stamp. See, this stamp has kind of got dark areas and light areas built in, and I was able to get some more of those with the brayer. So but you can use a sponge too to ink up your stamp. That's what I wanted. I wanted a light kind of coloring. Yeah, much better. Okay, so you don't need that if you're, I'm just trying to see if it would help with my juiciness of my stamp. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and I think I'm going to go with that. And the front said hello there, and then I wanted to put on the inside, you're on my mind. So I do need my ink one more time. You can see my ink pads are very messy. I love doing different techniques with my ink and painting with them, so my ink pads are always a disaster. You're on my mind, and then this is going to go on the side, which is why I kind of moved that over. And there you go. That was so fast, wasn't it? And you can always add some more embellishment, bling, some rhinestones, something if you want. But I feel it's nice in its simplicity. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.